For Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lips, and we are now joined by the coach whose team pulled off one of the biggest upsets in EIVA history. And Rummy, your team, they knock off the 17-time defending Penn State University Nittany Lions. You guys winning 4. How were you guys able to get the big win tonight?
Yeah, I think the win earlier in the season helped us out a lot. It gave us confidence that it can be done. And I think when we went into it, the mindset was right before we actually started the match that the guys thought they could win. And when it got down to crunch time, they didn't crack the pressure like they normally cracked. They cracked you in the past. So I thought proving it in the regular season made a big difference for tonight.
Now take me through this match a little bit, because in the first game, you lose in overtime. You had a game point. You know, we've seen this before, and sometimes when the underdog team, they'll lose that first game close and then they get swept. But what did you say to your team in between the first and second set, or did anyone on your team say something to get you guys refocused for that second set?
Yeah, I actually came back to it even before that. Like last week, we had 2 sets with George Mason, and we played a lot of close matches. And I said, hey, one pass here, one shank there, it makes a difference in winning a set. You guys are right there. You guys can win the next set. But it's going to take one less error. And I think the guys kind of focus on believing that. And when you do play them close, and they know that they're at the end, they know they have a chance to go to the next set.
And for you tonight, Mike Marksman had a huge night. Had double-digit kills, hit about 600, had a game-winning ace in overtime in the second game. Can you just talk about his play tonight and what has made him so good throughout the season?
I think the connection between him and Dan Ford is really good right now. I think they just believe in each other a lot. I also thought that with the injuries this past week that we've had, that Marsh has got a lot more reps with Dan. Knowing he's going to have to carry a bigger load, and kind of establish the middle more, so it helps the outsides out just that much more. And I thought that connection, the confidence, and then him just wanting to win made the big difference.
Yeah, and talking about, kind of your team beat up a little bit, I know earlier this week one of your players tweeted out a photo of their ankle all beat up and everything. Just how beat up is your team, and what does that say about just the overall will that your team showed tonight to win?
Yeah, from the Harvard match through last week, we had 5 guys with roll ankles, and 1 guy had previous injury, had surgery on his ankle. So we have 6 guys with ankle injuries right now. That was just kind of tough to suffer at the end of the year like that. But our trainer is working her butt off, and we're getting guys back here and there. But to get that practice, other guys have been stepping up and still working hard and preparing the guys that are going to play. So I think that's also pretty good too.
And looking at you guys tonight from the service line, you had 7 aces, but you were serving aggressively throughout the night. Was that really the key message that you were driving home before the match, especially with a team like Penn State, that you had to serve aggressively against them?
Yeah, our block is pretty good where we can get our middles to the pins. If I worry about slowing down over middles and jumping with those guys, we're small on the outside. We need our middles to close. So our thing is we're just serving as tough as we can to make it easier for the middles to close the block, and Gabe, our libero, is digging a ton of balls past the block also. So yeah, our whole game plan is to try and knock the middles out of the system.
Yeah. And Coach, I want to ask you, after a night like this, I could even see on the online stream, your guys were playing their heart out. What do you say to them as a coach, after a win like this, knowing that you have an even bigger match 2 days from now?
Yeah, one of our alumni guys texted me on the way back. Actually, I 148 texts tonight, a lot of texts. One of our alumni guys texted me back tonight. He talked about the Miracle on Ice match, that the gold medal wasn't won. We beat the Russians. We had to play Finland next, and I kind of brought that speech up to the guys. I kind of stole his message and talked to the guys about that in the locker room here. Yeah, so they know that we got 1 more to go, and Mason's really good, and they might be the hottest team playing right now with their winning streak going. So if we want to win the EIVA, we got one more match to go.
Yeah. And, I do want to ask you, I'm sure that you and Coach Pavlik on Penn State had a nice moment after the match. What did Pav say to you afterwards? Because I'm sure that this was a tough loss for him.
Pav is one of my favorite mentors, and Pav congratulates and pats you on the back and tells you, you did it right, and it makes me feel pretty good. But he's one of those stand-up coaches around, and I love listening to Pav. And I think the mentoring that he's given me has helped us to get to this point also.
And Coach, looking forward now, you have George Mason coming up. You played them last week. What from that match did you learn about George Mason, and what do you think that you can take away from that?
Our 2 matches this year, 4 deuce games. And then the last game was 22-25. We're really even. We're really well balanced. We have the same aggressive serving style. I think the setters are just reading the ball about the same. I think we're 2 very similar teams, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be fun. So I think the guys love to get after it. We have a lot of friends with our guys on their team, and they played a lot of club together, and we're all East Coast guys. So it's going to be another battle. It's going to be pretty brutal, I think, and it'll be fun. Yeah. And when it's all said and done, Jay and I will shake hands, and we'll go work in Las Vegas this summer together at A3 camps.
Well, Coach, one advantage you have coming into the finals is the Rummy Rascals. Your student section, they were out in full force tonight. You could even hear them on the online stream. What do you have to say to your fans who came on out and showed all their support for you tonight?
I say it's pretty awesome. I don't know how many of them there were. I know they sold out a bus. They make the trip, student activities paid for the bus, and so that's 55 guys in the bus, and there's probably another 55 that couldn't catch the ride, so they had to drive themselves. But the student section's been really big. One of the neat things about St. Francis is they are a small school, and in the fall, our guys are all running around and they cheering for the men's and women's soccer and women's volleyball and the field hockey and lacrosse, and it's pretty good to watch. Get the feedback in the spring when they come to watch our sport.